Thank you very much. No, don't worry, Prabhu. Even though there was a break, it's only temporary, and whatever sukruti you achieved by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, it won't go anywhere. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha vikramanashosti patyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahado bhayat. So Krishna says, even if you do it in a very little bit of it, it will be there with you. And then it will actually save you from the greatest danger of the life, human form of life. What is the greatest danger of human form of life? Is that next life we may not get a human form. We were discussing a couple of classes before. If you see the population of the whole earth, it's about 7 billion or something. But then if you see the population of all the other insects, birds, animals, they are more than billions. In one Rockbank, there would be so many billions of ants. So, depending on our activities, next life we may not get a human life. But then Krishna assures that once you practice devotional service, that will be there, and at least you will get a human form of life to continue your journey. So, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Mataji, what do you do? What's your name? What's your name, Mataji? Actually, Anshu Mataji. Yeah. And you are also from Himachal Pradesh.
Same place.
And I heard yours is an arranged marriage as well.
Arranged marriage.
See,
First
so
love, then arranged love.
oh, the secrets
First
are
arranged marriage.
प्रभु यही हो रहा है यही हो रहा है
the secrets are coming up now. No, it's good. It's lucky because normally होता है ना Bollywood movies में parents don't agree and then
बेड़ा गर्क रखा बॉलीवुड मूवी में तो सर.
so no and what do you do, Mataji?
I'm a registered nurse.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Ajay, sorry, Prabhu, I forgot to ask you, how was your visit to the temple? आप गए थे ना Saturday or Sunday को? It was okay? And you got a parking was all right?
Yes, parking was all right.
Yeah. Because Prabhu just messaged me before going to and I told him just make sure you're parking at the right place and all that.
I didn't park that side, on the main road.
Yeah.
So I was shaking it.
Oh, that's good. And your son's, what's his name?
Shivan Sharma.
Shivan. Yeah.
6 years.
6 years. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, more devotees are coming. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Srinivas Prabhu. Srinivas Prabhu, we're all waiting for you to start the quiz. Quiz. No. Anyway. So Prabhuji, we covered few classes before and then we discussed. So we are coming in a systematic way. So this seminar is called the Journey of Self Discovery. And then I'll just quickly go through some slides. So this session is called session 5. Why do bad things happen to good people? So this is a question that's been asked by so many philosophers and so many people in this world. This is an eternal question that's being asked. Because what happens is if someone is sincerely practicing, following God and doing all the good things, and suddenly something bad happens, then it is very difficult for him to actually digest that. मैं तो भगवान को इतना कर रहा हूँ, then how can he not protect me? So that question comes. So this is the topic of this session is to discuss why do bad things happen to good people. So we discussed before that the differences between animals and human beings, most of them are common. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Both animals do and humans also do the same thing. So what differentiates a human being is the higher intelligence. Only human beings can come and listen to the classes like this. We have never seen monkeys or donkeys sitting there and having a Krishna Katha or anything like that, because they don't have intelligence. They have only instincts. They feel hungry, they eat. No, they feel sleepy, they just sleep. No, we have the higher intelligence, and that's why they said that atato Brahma Jignasa. In the Brahma Sutra it is said, Vedanta Sutra it is said that now that you have taken human form of life, now you inquire about the higher truths of life. Otherwise, we are same as animals. Of course, we might do it in a very more what do you call sophisticated way, like animals live in burrows or trees or something like that, and birds, and then we live in houses that we build. But activities are really same, same activities. And then we are seeing this. Everyone is trying to get happiness in life, but these are the things that are actually stopping them to get happiness. There are some problems and there are some miseries. Four real problems no one can escape are Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. So nobody in this world has ever escaped. One who has taken birth, they are sure to die one day or other. And then in the meanwhile, they have to get disease. At least, flu or, we've seen COVID or whatever. And then old age, this no one can stop. So we have discussed, Amit Prabhu, technology can address these problems. Yeah, you agree?
No,
Technology can stop Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi.
they can delay.
They can only delay, or they can only mask. For example, if someone doesn't has a white hair, they can put some color and make it look black. Or if they don't have any hair at all, they can put a wig and then look like one of my friend, my classmate. He used to be, even when I was studying degree, he used to be bald and all that. And then he went to USA and he's become now a professor or something. And then suddenly he sent me a friend request in Facebook, and I could not recognize him because he's got full hair, everything. I was surprised. अरे उनको तो कॉलेज में तो he was just completely bald. कैसा हो गया? What magic? He went to USA. Was shocked, and then I called my other friend and said, "अरे क्या हो गया? Is this the same person?" I said, "Oh yeah, same person. Don't worry. He started wearing wig." I said, okay. So that is technology. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. So, and then old age, we see so many creams or so many tablets, and people actually sometimes get side effects and they die of those injections. And classic thing, Michael Jackson wanted to live forever, or he used to take extra oxygen and all that. He had so many surgeries, plastic surgery. And then on top of this, we have three added miseries. What are these? Miseries due to one's own body and mind. It's called Adhyatmika Klesha. Means somebody might have a wonderful house, somebody might have a wonderful bed. He could even have a feature wall with all the, what do you do in the feature walls? They put all the colors or paintings or sceneries. But then if his mind is troubled, or if he's got a body problem, he can't sleep, he can't rest. He is stressed. So this is one's own body and mind. This is one of the type of misery called Adhyatmika. And other living entities, Adibhautika. So many times we think, अरे ये तो इतना परेशान कर रहा है मेरे को, अगर ये नहीं होता तो मेरा life full happy, it should have been. But we have to, some people we think like that, But we have to understand, whatever miseries we are getting from other people, other person, it's not that person is giving that misery. It is actually the misery is coming through that person. So he is just only acting as a medium. So because we actually are supposed to get it, we are getting it through that person. It is said that, what is that, Prabhu? In Telugu there is a nice saying. like someone wants to escape or change his fate, and then he goes to so many different countries or something. But wherever one goes, his forehead actually, his head goes first, like that. So whatever is written in our forehead, that is actually going to happen. So our karma will follow us everywhere, basically, wherever we go on this. Uh, any comments from questions, comments? Yeah. And then natural disturbances, we also, it's called Adi Daivika, tsunamis or floods and cyclones, all this. So these are the things that will stop us getting eternal happiness. So that's why whatever happiness we get, it's only temporary. We want to eat gulab jamuns, but can't eat more than 4, 5, 10, or whatever. If you eat more, then you get sick. So, and then also once someone becomes old, they can't actually eat. It is said that people who can eat chana, they don't have teeth. And people who's got teeth, they don't have chana to eat. There's a nice saying in Hindi. I don't know if you know that saying. No. So it's like that. The problems. So, and then we have seen the scientific definition of God. He is the Sarva Karana Karana, cause of all causes. He is the supreme controller, and supreme proprietor, owner or supreme enjoyer. So this is the supreme God we have seen. So this is the definition of God. And then we have seen how to acquire knowledge. So can we acquire knowledge through Chat GPT or what is the latest Google thing? Bard. I don't know. They can put some decent name for it also. No? Why Bard? No. Probably,
Some abbreviation.
I don't know. Hopefully there is some meaning for it. So Google has come up with a competitor for ChatGPT and they called it as Bard. Actually, it sounds like Bard, not like dismissed or something. Anyway, I tried it today. It's okay. But still, I asked some shlokas and he said, "Sorry, I'm not trained for it." So I told it, "Okay, you are doing well. Try to get trained." So I gave that feedback to it.
Prabhuji, now that you mentioned the word sloka, I will start learning.
Yeah. So tomorrow when I go work, it will be easy for me. So these are the different types of acquiring knowledge. People these days they say seeing is believing. So people say only if I see something, then I believe. And then they say because I can't see God, I don't believe in God. But then actually if you say that we actually don't see so many things. Like I have never seen Donald Trump in my life. But then, and also I have never seen America. But Donald Trump exists and America also exists. Similarly, so many things. So it's limited direct sense perception. And then Anuman Praman is speculation. It's like our recent scientists. They say maybe this, maybe that, neti, it's called as, maybe this, maybe this. So it's again a speculative knowledge, means it's not 100%. It may be like that. But then what we follow and believe is the Shabda Praman. It's a word of bona fide authority. So it's coming from the top. It's descending. So the knowledge is coming through the Supreme Lord directly. Supreme Lord Krishna gave the knowledge to Brahma and Brahma to Narada, 4 Kumaras, and it's coming through all the parampara. So, and then we have these 4 sampradayas, Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya. So, and that's how Brahma Sampradaya. And that's how it's coming, the knowledge is coming through the parampara of, so it's called Shabda Praman, word of bona fide authority. So, this is what we believe in. And then Bhagavan, we said Bhagavan means one who's got strength, fame, knowledge, wealth, beauty, and renunciation. And then differences. And we also discussed about gods and demigods. So there's 3 million demigods. Because to run a city, for example, or an airport or anything, you need so many people to administer, some to look after the luggage, some to look after the security, some to look after the flights. Similarly, to run the whole universe, cosmic universe, you need so many people. And so that's what these demigods are represented, appointed by the Supreme Lord. And then, so these are the sampradayas I was talking before. So from Supreme Lord, these 4 sampradayas have come. There is Brahma Sampradaya, Lord Brahma, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, Chaitanya Saraswati Math. And then Sri Sampradaya, that is Lakshmi Devi, and Ramanujacharya, G.R. Swami. Anyone knows G.R. Swami? You know, G.R. Swami?
He was here, I think,
Yeah, exactly.
2 to 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Vaishnava. And then Shiva Rudra Sampradaya. So it's again Vallabhacharya, Pushti Marg. So people mostly in Gujarat, they follow Pushti Marg. A lot of them follow because Vallabhacharya is also from Gujarat. And then also there is Vishnu Swami. Is also there is Rudra Sampradaya. And then Shankaracharya also, the Sampradaya for Shankaracharya also comes from Shiva. And then these 4 Kumaras, that's called Nimbarkacharya Sampradaya. Nimbarkacharya is the one who started that Sampradaya. So these are the bona fide Sampradayas, and there are gurus. So only main ones are mentioned. But every century, every million, there are continuous gurus, and the knowledge is being transferred through the Guru Shishya Parampara. So this is what, and then they have the books and everything that is preserved. So that's why these are the bona fide Sampradayas. And then, of course, we have seen all this proof of the soul. So how do you know that I am not this body? I can tell that I am not this finger, I am not this eyes, I am not this. And when I say I, then who is that I? We need to understand. Because if someone loses their hand or fingers or removes or operation, still they survive. So who is that I? So, and then we also understand one more classic example. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. We all remember when we are small kids, we remember playing with our parents, our father, our mother. And then we all remember how we grew up when we did our studies and everything. So we can, but when we look in the mirror, we are not the same person. Or in the photos, we are not the same person. So we understand that our body has changed. But we also understand, of course, we become a little bit wise, we learn some intelligence, knowledge, we've done a lot of courses. But then we still understand we are the same person. So something called I did not change, even though the body and everything has changed. Hare Krishna Babuji. So what is the difference between a dead body and a living body is the presence of soul. Because if you notice the dead body, it's got everything intact. It's got blood, whatever. But then only one thing that is missing is the consciousness. It's not conscious. Like there was a joke. There's a taxi driver and then he was driving taxi. And then he was driving taxi and then passenger was sitting in the back seat. So the passenger, what he did, he was telling some address, go left and right. So suddenly kuch galti kar diya. He took a wrong turn or something. And then the passenger touched him from the back. Aisa upar haath dar. Arey bhaiya, aisa nahi, idhar nahi, udhar. And then the taxi driver got so scared, and he shouted and he almost crashed into other cars and then he stopped. And then the passenger asked, bhai, kya ho gaya? I just touched you from the behind. Ek baar aisa touch kiya maine. Kyun itna tension ho gaya? Then the driver said, because this is my first day of driving taxi. But before that, I was actually driving dead bodies, carrying dead bodies. so dead bodies won't come and touch him. So the driver, so this is the difference between the living and a dead body. So this is the consciousness. So consciousness is a symptom of the presence of soul. And the body dies, but the soul is eternal. So some people think that one life is everything that we get. So जो भी करना है, whatever you want to do, just do in this life. फिर बाद में क्या होगा कुछ देखेंगे. No, there is no more life. No, just one life. But then, if you actually read the Shastra, if you analyze, if you see, you get so many. And also, like there is Dr. Ian Stevenson. He is a famous scientist, and he has recorded 20,000 cases of reincarnation all over the world, which proved that people actually have different lives. And he is whenever someone says that, he would actually go and record them. One of the big, so many cases he recorded, and they would say that I was born in my last life in so and so place and all that. And they would even remember in that house they used to be like this, almara and all that. They remember every details. It normally doesn't happen that one gives up body and then remembers, but some people they remember because the past life. Also, this. We'll discuss about the reincarnation actually in a separate topic. But there is also hypnosis, what do you call regression therapy. Regression therapy, hypnotic regression therapy. So if some people have some phobias or something, then this psychiatrist or the hypnotist, they hypnotize the person and they take him back to their previous lives and tell him that they give them these suggestions. Imagine that you are just being born, you are a baby, you are in your mother's womb. Imagine you are in your previous life, what were you doing? Like that, they have actually done that. There's a nice word, what is it? Regression or. Anyway, so one of the doctor noticed that the patient, he's got fear of being closed spaces. He can't stay anywhere where the windows and doors are closed. And then he went back to his previous lives and he asked him, what is this bothering you? And then he told that he was in Egypt. And then he told that he was put into some cave. And then along with so many other people, he was put into a cave. And the cave's entrance was forcefully closed. And all the people in the cave, they died of suffocation. They could not open the stone because it was too heavy, and they just died of suffocation. So, and because that was so traumatic, the incident, it carried forward through so many lifetimes. So the person still is scared of, similarly people are scared of heights and all those things. So they all come because it says that mind, body, intelligence, and false ego. This is what we are made up of. So when we give up the body, then the mind, the subtle body, the false ego, and the soul, they all follow. Just like an air carries the smell of different, sometimes you feel nice, someone is cooking, you can feel nice smell coming. Similarly, the subtle body is so subtle that it actually carries all the impressions from our previous life and it takes to the next body. So that's what it is. So the body dies, but the soul is eternal. The soul has to take birth continuously in this cycle. It has to go through in this cycle continuously till actually it gives up these 5 things we discussed. What is that? Pagal. Pride.
Anger.
Arrogance.
Lust.
Greed. So, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So, unless we give up these things, we cannot go back to the spiritual world. But Krishna explains that spiritual world there is no miseries. Spiritual world there is no time or anything. Spiritual world it's Vaikunta, means no miseries, no time, and nothing decays, nothing material. So if someone is having a nice time, they are having a party, they are dancing, they like dancing like that, they can keep dancing for hundreds of years. Nothing happens. They just continue dancing. Whereas here we dance for a couple of hours or something and we tired and we go to sleep or something. But spiritual world is different. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says that न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. It says that supreme abode of mind, the spiritual world, is not illuminated by sun or moon. There is no sun moon in spiritual world. There is moon for just to add like a decor. There is moon in the sky, so it's a nice feeling. But there is no need, Krishna is telling, because spiritual world everything is illuminating and there is no darkness. So it's very hard. Na tadbhasha yete suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yadgatvana nivartanta taddama paramama. And it says, Krishna says, one who comes to the spiritual world, they will never go back. गलती से एक बार आ गए इधर हम, but somehow or other, if you manage to go back, then we'll say, "Arey bhai, मैं नहीं जाऊँगा. I will not go again." This is because Prabhupada said, material world is not a place for a gentleman. Material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. You work so hard, you earn so much, you study so many degrees, you do so many certifications, you do everything, and then when the end time comes, you can't take anything with you. And then Shankaracharya, what is it? Bhajagovindam. Punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudusare, krupaya partha pahi murare, bhajagovindam, govindam bhaja mudamate. So, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This cycle is going on and on and on. Imagine, itna kuch kare humne. We have done so many courses, so many things, paid so much mortgage and tax and everything. In the next life, we have to start again from A, B, C, D. And then, how difficult it is. And then that time, you actually have to pay more mortgage, more interest rates. And that time, things might change. Kali Yuga might progress. Kalena Balina Rajan, Bhagavatam explains, as Kali Yuga is progressing, people lose all the good qualities. There's no compassion, there's no cleanliness, and people don't maintain the environment. There's no. So you go to supermarket to buy some stuff. At least now we are going to Victoria Market. We think coals, you may not get so many variety of vegetables. We go to Victoria Market. But that time when you go to, in our future lives, if it come back, you go to supermarket and then person will say, no carrots, only meat. No vegetables, only meat. Because earth is not producing anything. So it's a very difficult time. So that's why we don't want to come back. One life, finish off, go back. That's all. That is our motto. Go back to the spiritual world. So, and then Krishna explains about soul. What is soul? Second chapter, Krishna, because you remember in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, what happens? He suddenly becomes compassionate, and then he doesn't want to do the fighting. He just says, Krishna, that I am full ready. Come on, let me look at all the people who have come. Like that he was saying. Just like, who's our India's opening batsman?
Sehwag.
Huh?
Sehwag.
Okay, Sehwag goes everything, and then while just he takes, whatever that.
Run up.
And then before just facing the first ball, he says, no, I don't want to play. I can't play. I'm scared. That opposite bowler, or that fast bowler, whatever, I can't face him. Then how is it going to be? So, like that, Arjuna said, I don't want to fight. Because Arjuna says, because all I see is all my relatives, all my cousins, why should I kill them? Just for, what is the time? The kids are already coming? Oh,
8:20.
Okay. So, Arjuna suddenly develops this false compassion. He says, I don't want to fight because I don't want to kill my family members, my cousins. But then he was put into illusion because actually it is said that Arjuna is companion of Krishna, he is always there with Krishna. He can never get illusioned or bewildered. But to actually give this message of Bhagavad Gita, he was put into that situation so that Krishna can speak Bhagavad Gita for us to learn. So anyway, Arjuna says he doesn't want to fight. He forgets all the atrocities the Kauravas have done for him. They tried to kill them, they tried to burn him, they tried to disrobe their wife, so many things they have done. He says, no, that's okay. Then Krishna has to explain all these things. What are you talking about killing? You're not the one who's killing. Even if you don't kill, they will all be killed anyway. And then he explains that that is the place where he gives the knowledge of soul. Actually, no one can kill a soul. Soul is indestructible, soul is individual, soul is Satchitananda. What you are killing is about only the physical body. And then he explains, so that's how that goes. So, anyway, so this knowledge of soul is such an important and the basic thing that Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks it in the very beginning. In the very beginning, and then he doesn't mention anywhere rest of the Bhagavad Gita because it is the basic understanding that we are not the body, we are actually the soul in the body. So, and then the soul is indestructible. No fire can burn it, no water can make it wet, no weapon can kill it. Because they said the size of the soul is how much, Mike?
1/10,000 part of a tip of a hair.
Yeah. That is the size of the soul. So where can you find it? Which camera can take a photo or which weapon can pierce it? So that is, and then soul is Satchitananda, happiness, bliss, fully knowledgeable. So coming back to our topic, why do bad things happen to good people? So to understand this, we need to understand the 5 basic subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. Because what happened is, there was a very, there's a Rabbi. Rabbi means, what religion is that? Rabbi means Jewish religion. There's a very devoted, sincere Rabbi called Harold Kushner. Harold Kushner was a very nice, devoted Rabbi. And then, so he was practicing and he was preaching his religion to everyone, and he's a sincere soul and he's doing everything nicely. But then what happened was, suddenly his son, son was like 7 years or so, his son has developed this serious disease called progeria. Anyone knows, Mataji, progeria? It's a very rare disease. Once in so many millions get it. So progeria is a disease where the person affected, they become aged. So every month will be like a year for them. And like 1 year is like 10 years for them. So they age quickly. So this Kushner's son died at a very early age of 14 years. And by the time he already became like a completely 100-year-old man, like that, his body became. And then Kushner was shocked. He said, what is this, God? Throughout my life, I've been serving you. I've been so sincere. I've been spreading this message. Then how did this happen to me? Because it is said that the God is omniscient, omnipotent. God is God knows everything. If God knows everything, then why couldn't He stop this incident, my son getting affected by the disease? And then omnipotent, God is the most powerful. So why didn't God stop my son from dying or getting this disease? And then most merciful. If God is merciful, then why did He let this happen to my son? And then He wrote this book called Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? So that is actually the title of a famous book. And that book also became very famous. It's being one of the top sellers in a lot of people read. But basically, in that book, what Kushner says is that God, it's not unlikely that God is not compassionate. God means, the meaning of God is like merciful. So, not that God can't become. And then it's not that God cannot know what is happening. He will know everything because He is Supreme Lord. But maybe that God is not powerful enough to actually stop something from happening. And then Kushner decided that, okay, maybe because God doesn't have the power to stop some of the things from Saturn to actually affecting people, He is powerless, so He is watching, He did not do anything about it. So that's what He declared in His book. And then He, on top of it, He explained that that's why we should all be very, we should forgive God. He said, we have to understand that God has some limits and we should forgive Him. So this is very condescending way. From one side you are acting like a devotee, and from other side you are acting as if people get bewildered because the philosophy doesn't answer these questions. I used to have a colleague. He was in one of the companies he worked. He's a Christian. He told me that I gave up Christianity because I could not get answers for so many questions I had. When I was a child, I used to ask things like, how does God look like? They would not say anything. I would ask, what does God do? They wouldn't say anything. They all that know is God sits on a throne in the kingdom of heaven. But then whole day, whole time He is sitting on the throne just like that. What else does He do? And they could not answer me. Like that He was saying. And then I just gave up. I don't now believe in any religion. There's no religion, no God, nothing. So when people don't get, because their philosophy is incomplete, they don't get answers, then they get away from God. Or sometimes when what happens, a small baby comes, like in a school, and 10 years baby, boy or girl, and then another one of his friends or somebody dies in the school class, accidents happen. And then the girl comes to the home and asks mother, Mommy, what happened? What happened to my friend? She left. And then the mother would answer something like, yeah, God took her. God took her. Why? Oh, I don't know. Just God took her. So like that, when you don't give answers, then people get affected, and then that will make them atheists, no belief in God. So Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 subject matters, and these 5 subject matters are Ishvara. It talks about God, who is Supreme God, and then it talks about Jiva, the living entity. Who are we? And then Prakriti, material nature and its modes, and then Kala, which is the time, and Karma, activity and its concomitant reaction. So we have seen God, who is God. The Supreme Lord is Sarva Karana. Karana is the supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, supreme benefactor, proprietor. And then Jiva, what are we? We are like the minute particles. Last week we are taking this example of Pacific Ocean. So if you bring Pacific Ocean, I tell Mayank, can you bring me Pacific Ocean? You can bring in a bottle or something. So there's water, you can get water from the Pacific Ocean. So the water in the bottle is qualitatively it is same as Pacific Ocean. If you take in a spoon and taste it, it's salty and all that. And if you experiment it, it's got everything, all the qualities that is the Pacific Ocean. So qualitatively, that is same as Pacific Ocean. But quantitatively, one water bottle, Pacific Ocean, there is no comparison. You need billions and billions of such water bottles to get all the water. Similarly, we are all qualitatively has the same qualities of Supreme Lord, but in a very minute quantity. Very minute quantity. And then, so that's why, even though qualitatively we might be one with the Lord, still we are different. So this philosophy is called Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Simultaneous oneness and difference. So Shankaracharya gave this, what is that? Advaitam. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Shankaracharya said that everything that you see, material world, it's all false. It's all illusion, he said. But Vaishnava says that the material world is not false, it's temporary. It is there, for example, this harmonium is there, these CDs are there, it's there, but it's not going to be there forever. Similarly, we are there, but we are not going to be there forever. So it is there, but it is temporary. So that is. And then Shankaracharya said that we are all Brahman, so we are all gods. But then Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we come up with this answer that we are not, the jivas can never be equal to God. And you can never become God. Jivera Swarupai hai Nitya Krishna Das. It's eternally servant of Krishna. So, what is our relationship? The relationship is Mama Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So, and then Prakriti, the material nature and its modes. Any questions or comments?
Prabhu, we just said like that we Shankaracharya philosophy says it's illusion, but we says it is temporary, right? But we do discuss about that example of a tree where we say like, okay, this is a tree, and then the we do have mirage of the tree in the water when it is on the shore, right? Then again, it's an illusion, right?
It's an illusion in the sense that it's ulta pulta, it's inverted.
Okay.
Means it's a shadow. It's a shadow, but at least the shadow is there. Where does the shadow come from? Unless there is something real or solid, the shadow doesn't come automatically. Similarly, we are saying that until there is, unless there is a quality, Supreme Lord doesn't possesses it, we don't manifest it here. But the problem with material, what happens is the qualities they get polluted by the modes, and then so true love actually becomes into lust. All this, just like gold, the difference is like gold and iron. So it's called shadow and the substance. So yeah. So Shankaracharya, so that's why Shankaracharya said that we are all God, but Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we explained that we can never be God. We are always servant of God. So one day someone asked Srila Prabhupada that if I do all that, whatever you are saying, can I become God? Someone asked. Like Prabhupada is telling them that you chant Hare Krishna mantra, you do all this, And that person asked, if I do all that, can I become God? Actually, same thing happened to me. I was talking to one of my Western friend. He told me the same thing. If I do all that, can I become God? So people have this concept that they want to become God. In fact, that is the reason. Everyone want to be master. That's why we are all here in the material world, which is quite natural, understandable. So this person asked Srila Prabhupada that whatever you are telling, if I do, can I become God? And Prabhupada said, no, you can never become God. But then you can become a person who can actually control God with your love. Yashoda Mata, she was controlling Krishna. You know that pastime of Damodar pastime, no? Krishna was breaking butter pots and everything, and Yashoda Mataji tied him with a rope to the grinding pot. And then she was disciplining with a stick. And then looking at the stick in the hands of Yashoda Mata, Krishna was crying. No, he's crying like a baby. And then looking at this, Kunti Maharani actually gets bewildered. And then when she is saying these prayers, Queen Kunti prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam, she says, I cannot understand you. You are the Supreme Lord. The fear personified actually fears looking at you, and you are becoming fearful in front of Mother Yashoda. And with some small stick, you are actually fearful. So that is Supreme Lord. He is controlled by devotees' love. So, what's the time? 8:35. This is a big subject, Prakriti. So we've seen about God and Jiva. What is Prakriti? The material nature. So, last week we discussed about Brahman. Last week we discussed about the Brahman. So, what is Brahman? The primordial cosmic substance from everything comes. So the whole universes, they come from Brahman. So Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam abhyam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan ityat. So everything that comes from Brahman, so that is the Brahman. So the material nature also is coming from that Brahman. So what is this material world? So this material world, so for example, if there is a city, people are constructing cities, planning cities. Whenever people plan cities, then in the city they plan few things. They plan an airport, they plan a supermarket, they plan a medical center, they plan so many things they plan. So that's how they build a city. And also they plan one prison. So then people might think, why do you plan for a prison? It's a waste of money, energy, time and efforts. Why do you want to waste money? Why people, when we are coming from, there's also one prison somewhere here. What is that? Yeah. So why prison? Why prison? It's a waste of money. Because the government knows that there are always people who break the laws, and to control them and to stop them from causing disturbance to the people who are sincere, you need to put them into a prison. So similarly, Krishna, we are all in the spiritual world at one point of time, and then we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So that means we are actually acting against. We are breaking the rules of spiritual world, breaking the rules by thinking that I want to be the proprietor, I want to be the enjoyer. Like this. So for that, what Krishna does is he creates a material world, and that material world is actually compared to a prison. So the beauty of this material prison is that you are in a prison, but you think you are free. One time, one person went to the jail. Not jail. What is that? पागलखाना को क्या बोलते हैं in Hindi? What do they call it? Mental asylum. Mental asylum. So, and then people there, everyone is thinking that they are something. One person is thinking he is a prime minister. One person is thinking he is like some police officer. So people, they're all. So similarly, we are thinking we are actually prisoned, but we are thinking we are free. So how do you say? Sorry. We are thinking we are free, but we are in the prison. How do you know that? Our material body itself is actually the biggest prison. Because the material body has so many limitations. It's got small. They say when you compare the number of pleasure points, there's so many pain points in the body. And then body gives us so much trouble, mentally, physically, back pain, leg pain, or diseases. So Krishna says that the material world has got a prison. Material world is the prison, and within that we are actually put into these bodies, material bodies, and there are 8,400,000 species of life form. So there's so many thousands of aquatic animals. Then there is birds, and there is trees, and then human beings. So there is one. So and then what is it? When you go to a jail, what do? You first change your dress. You wear the dress of the jail. Similarly, when the spirit soul comes to material world, they have to wear the dress of this material world, which is the material body. They have to wear a monkey or a donkey or a human being, or they have to. If you can't say that, no, I don't want to wear this, you can't say that. No, you have to wear it. That's all. So this is a compulsion. And then on top of it, what happens in the prisons might be different types. There could be A class prison, B class prison, C class prison. So A class prison might be for some decent decent fellows, like political people who have done some and then some respect. They have not done any serious crime. They are put in the A class cell. So A class cell might have some basic facilities, like there could be a TV, there could be air con and all that, like that. Then B class cell could be little bit more serious crimes. So and then it might have lesser facilities. So there could be just only one some windows to look out and things like that. And C class cell could be for dangerous criminals. So they don't have space or anything to move. Just only small 4x4 or 2x2 room or So what we are trying to do is, in the material bodies, we are trying to actually go from one prison to another prison. But we are not actually trying to go out of this jail. We are not trying to go. We are still want to improve our facilities. We think, oh, that A class prison is nice, so I will go there. So. But we are not actually getting out of this. And then it is said that in the prison, just like prisoners, they are caught with these chains. Similarly, the material world, everyone is bound by invisible chains called three gunas: sattva, rajas, tamas. Goodness, passion, ignorance. So these are like the three ropes. So mode of goodness, sattva, rope, could be compared to a golden chain. And then this mode of passion can be compared to a silver chain. And then mode of ignorance can be compared to a iron chain. So the prisoners, we are here prisoners, and we are all tied with these chains. And the chains are there, and then depending on, let's go to the next slide. So these are the three different types: Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. So Sattvagun is the chain which is the golden chain. So people in this mode are happy, they want to learn, acquire knowledge, all these things. And they also want to do some social service, philanthropy. And then Rajogun is people with unlimited desires. They just want to work. Always working. And then tamogun, they just want to sleep, do nothing, no agenda for them, just sleep. In Ramayana, there is a very nice example. The three brothers, Vibhishan, Ravana, and Kumbhakarna, are compared to these three modes. Vibhishan is in the mode of goodness, so that's why he's actually chanting Lord Rama's name. And that's why he also gave up the company of Ravan. And then Ravan is in the mode of passion, so that's why he's affected by all these gunas, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And that's why he steals Sita Devi. And then that was the end of his life for him. Then Kumbhakarna, he gets up once in a year or something. And then 6 months, yeah. And then once he get up, what does he do?
Eating.
Just eat, keep on eating. He doesn't even brush his teeth or chairman aisa kuch bhi nahi kara, nothing. Just eat. And then after eating, what to do? Just sleep. So these three are the best example of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So this is a table. If you look at this table, you will understand that what mode I am in. So this is the mode of goodness and mode of, and then here this side you see preferred time, food, music, worship, austerity. So people in the mode of goodness, they are morning birds. They get up in the morning. They do all the things in the morning. Mode of passion, the moment the sun comes out, they want to go. They want to work. And then it's only once sun set, then they will think of going home. आजकल वो भी नहीं हो रहा. People are still working overtime. So that's passion. And then mode of ignorance, they are night birds. मतलब their life starts only in the night time. रात में 10 बजे, then they'll start. Then they'll get up and say, अभी क्या करेंगे? सोने का टाइम है. No, they'll start. They'll have party or drink or something. So that is ignorance. And then types of foods also it's mentioned. People in the mode of goodness, they consume sweet, juicy, fattening, palatable, milk, fruits and vegetables. Mode of passion, too salty, pungent, hot, red pepper. There's some, my uncle used to be there. He used to work in Air Force. He would say, give me chili, achar de do mere ko. And then he would mix achar and eat. And then when he's eating, he should actually be sweat will be coming like this. And when it goes into the mouth, it should be burning in the mouth. So that is passion. And then mode of ignorance, stale, bad odor, meat and liquor. So they don't worry actually what food it is. They just keep on eating that food, whatever. It's stale, bad odor, meat and liquor. And the music, people in the mode of goodness, they like bhajans, kirtan, spiritual music. Mode of passion, agitating the mind, shattering at least some windows. So they play music, the windows should be shaking like the dum 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 dum. Michael Jackson, when he dances, people, if some of our villagers look at Michael Jackson or some of these people, pop singers dancing, they'll say, what is wrong with him? He's got fits or something. Kya ho gaya? Aisa. No. So that's music. And of course, lot of ignorance people, music for them, no music, nothing, just sleep, that's all. So, and then worshipping is interesting. People in the mode of goodness, they worship demigods, Indra, Varuna, Ganesh. So they do something called Panchopasana, worshipping these five. Because these people, they want to do good karma and go to heavenly planets and enjoy life. So do nice karma kanda rituals and all that. And then mode of fashion, people, they worship powerful and influential men and demons. There are some people worshipping Donald Trump. There are some people worshipping movie actors or actresses. Amitabh Bachchan as a temple and Khushbu as a temple. Huh? So they just want, because they want something powerful and influential men to worship. No, they just want. And demons also sometimes. That is actually more dangerous. No? These people, they, no, that is in Vedic system we have so many things. There is good and bad. There is Vamayana Paddhati and Dakshinayana Paddhati. There is a right hand method and left hand method. So same goddesses, for example, Durga Devi, she worshipped in a very beautiful, most beautiful form, like, offering her vegetarian food and all this, and diya and everything. But then other people, they might worship in the people who practice agama, but the left hand method is called. They might give, a goat or kill a goat or give liquor, and so this is what is mode of
Ignorance.
passion.
Passion.
Mode of ignorance, they worship ghosts and spirits only directly, because it is said that ghosts and spirits are very easy to invoke. Ghosts and spirits, so, and then they have limited power, but they can influence some power, but they have a limited power. So what happens is these ghosts and spirits, they are actually in the Patal Lok. So these tantrics, they invoke them, they give them, they do some worship, and with the power of the mantras, they get this spirits from lower planets to up, and then they make them do things for them. Simple things like giving other people some distress, or breaking their house, or their clothes getting burnt, or some fire, setting up fire, all these nasty things. And then these ghosts and spirits they're crazy. Like sometimes if they get angry, they might even attack the same person whom they are doing. And then so if you go in, I read so many books about this one. It's very, they are easy to do, but then very dangerous.
Evil effects.
Evil effects, and even on the performer as well. And
For tantric knowledge, people go to Kamakya Devi. And even Ganesha has a different group, people doesn't know about it. Ganesha has a black form where a lot of tantric actually acquire the things and do the like.
yes.
This, I was reading the book.
Acha,
So
okay. Good. Yeah. No. So they are there. They are there. Even in the Western society, also they have their own black magic and all that. Of course, these days, as Kali Yuga is progressing, people you don't see so many of them anyway. Because actually, interestingly, what you see, all these things that are done by these special powers or whatever, science is able to do. Like science is, with the help of science, people are now able to fly, airplanes and everything. So that is like a miracle. Wow, so like that, so many things, material things are being possible, and then and then austerity. So austerity means upavas, or what do you call that? Austerity में हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? त्याग, yeah, fasting and all this, austerity, tapasya, tapasya, So people in the mode of goodness, they do it for pleasure of supreme. People in the mode of passion, they do it for respect, honor and reverence. Matlab, politicians, hunger strike. They just say, I'm stopping eating, band kar de, and there's a tent and everything, there's a poster, and so it's for respect, for honor, for reverence. And then mode of ignorance, torture self and others. So there was a demon, what's his name? Rakasura. He wanted darshan of Shiva, some boons from Shiva. So he was worshipping Shiva, and then Shiva thought, oh, this is a useless fellow. He didn't come. And then he was worshipping. Actually, Shiva is also just like in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you offer me with love and devotion, a one leaf, water, patram, pushpam, phalam, just a fruit, I'll be happy and I will accept it. Similarly, Shiva also says that. What is that? Tridalam Trigunakaram Trinetram Kshatriyayudam Trijanma Papa Samharam Ekabilvam Samarpanam. If you offer that what do you call it? Just one leaf, Shiva is also saying, give me one leaf with love and some water, I'll be happy. But this demon, he was doing all the nonsense, and then finally Shiva didn't come. Then he started cutting his body parts and offering in the fire. And then Shiva came and said, oh, my dear son, what's wrong with you? Why are you cutting? I don't want all your body parts. I am not going to eat them. Why are you doing all this? No? Tell me what you want. And then, of course, he said, I want the power that if I put my hand on anyone, they should actually, what do you call? They become Bhasmasura. And then we all know the story. Then Shiva gave him, and then he wanted to test on Shiva himself. And then Shiva started running, and Krishna actually has to come, Vishnu has to come and then cheat him to. He said that Shiva these days he's become completely, he started cheating, he's telling all lies to people, and he become old, he's not remembering what he's saying. Then he's giving whatever people are asking. Whatever he gave you, I don't think it works. If you want, you test it yourself. And then he just said, really? And he put it and finished. I mean, there is one version. Second version is that they say Vishnu came as a Mohini Murti, and she danced, and she was dancing different poses, and then she put, in one of the poses, she put hand on her head, and then this demon also trying to imitate her, and he puts and he finishes. So like that, this torturing self and others. So these are the three modes. These are the three modes people get affected. So it's not that one person is always in the mode of goodness or always in the mode of passion or always in the mode of ignorance. The modes are different, changing. They keep changing, and they are fighting for supremacy. Sometimes ignorance takes. In fact, when you go to sleep, ignorance takes, and then we actually go to sleep. That's why we can get rest to our body. So that is good as well, actually. But mode of goodness, mode of passion. So these are all just like there's different combinations of this, and with this, not only human beings, all the different bodies are also made up of this. For example, cow, Gomata, she's in the mode of goodness, but also in the mode of ignorance because she is in the animal form. But then in the mode of good, so it's a combination. There's a combination of everything. Just like I was telling the other day, three primary colors: red, blue, and I don't know whatever that color. With the three colors, you can make billions of colors. Similarly, with the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance, millions of life forms are there. They have come up. So everything in the material world is controlled by these three modes.
Of nature.
So this is called the modes of nature. Okay, we'll stop here. 9 o'clock. The kids started coming anyway. So any questions or comments? Yes, Mother.
Sorry, Prabhu. Everything takes long to understand me. My question is still same. You give example like when you wrote the book why the wrong thing happened to the good people. I still didn't figure the answer, like why it's happened.
Oh, because we are not discussed. Sorry.
Yeah, I just
क्या ऐसा लगता है जैसे एक होता है conscious और unconscious, like force और विरोध, आप अपने action अपने खुद लेते हैं, like यदि आप एक अच्छा कर्म करेंगे, if you do a good karma, right, you will get the result. लेकिन at the end of the day, it's your intelligence, how you use the intelligence. I knew like if I smoke, if I eat this, I'm going to be affected, right?
no, but that's not like you get some people that have a heart condition, they don't do all these things.
Yeah.
Still they have that condition. And some people, some people drink too much, their liver is fine. Some people doesn't, their livers go so down. It's
Yes.
not like what you eat is affected.
Yeah, Mataji. That is the suspense. We'll discuss next week.
Next lecture. That is the only way to bring
फिर
to the
आपको
next
बोलना
lecture.
पड़ेगा No, no. That's what you're saying, no? So why good people suffer? Because what we are seeing now in this life, this one body, is not the only body we have in this body. Is carrying the impressions and also the karmas from so many different lives, millions of lives. One good thing is animals don't have any karma. Animals don't get any karma. If there is a snake and if the snake bites, it doesn't get any karma. If there is a lion and if the lion eats, kills a deer or something, eats, it doesn't get, because they are driven by instincts. उनको बुद्धि नहीं है. But human being is got intelligence. So whatever he does, he gets karma for it. So we have this mind, subtle body, intelligence, false ego. They all coming from different lifetimes, and then karma is also there. So whatever activities we have done in so many lives before, that has to be accounted for. But then the combination is such that to get that effect, everything takes time. For example, if you put a coriander seeds or something, within 1 week or 2 weeks, the coriander, they will come up. At 3-4 weeks, they will we can eat them. They will come up and ho jayega. But then if you put a mango tree, mango seed or something, it will take years and years to actually become big and bring fruit. Similarly, the actions we perform and the karma we have acquired, it takes time for it to act. So now we don't know what is kya kiya humne previous life and what I have done in a previous life. So suddenly something happens, then you think, oh, kaisa ho gaya, throughout this life I've been a nice. Same thing happened, like Dhritarashtra questioned Krishna. He said, my dear Krishna, what is this? I know you are a supreme lord, and then I see some injustice happening in this. I've been born blind, and then I have 100 sons, and all the sons have been killed. And today I don't have any son. So what is happening? And then Krishna explained him that 50 lives before, you are the son of a hunter, and then one day you went to a bird's nest, and then the mother bird tried to protect its eggs, birdlings, and then with a stick you actually poked its eyes so that it can't see, and you killed it. And then, you didn't kill it, poked its eyes so that it can't see, and then you burnt all the birdlings, killed all the birdlings, and you ate nicely, of course. Now, for that, you should get effect. Karma means action and reaction. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So, for that, you need to get effect. So, that's why you are getting. And then, Dhritarashtra said, why should I wait for 50 lives? I could have got it in my next life straight away. And then Krishna explained, because to have one son, you require so much piety. To have 100 sons, you need so much piety. So it took you 50 lives to get so much piety that you can have 100 children. And then in this life, the whole karma has become fructified. And then the action has taken place. So that's why whatever you are seeing today is the result of so many lives. So that's why we don't know what we have done in our previous life. First of all, कुछ तो गलती किया इसलिए हम इधर आ गए material world. But even in the material world, we don't know what we have done. So
We're lucky because we acquire a human form.
yes, yes, at least So that is why chanting the names of the Lord. It doesn't matter it's not just Hare Krishna mantra. You can say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So many mantras are there. Any mantra, chanting the mantra will actually remove all the negative karma. And then it will actually make you free. So that is the only way you can actually get rid of all the karma.
Are we the Atma or Jivatma, because soul, like energy, cannot be created, it can be transferred from one company. Soul getting punished.
Actually, that is interesting and a very nice question, Prabhu. It's a high level advanced question, but because you chanted 16, 18 rounds before, you could ask that question. Yes, soul, just now we discussed that nothing can burn the soul, nothing can. Then how the soul is getting punishment?
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Because I think the body has
No, I'll tell you. So what happens is once the material body becomes useless, the soul has to give up the body. Just like a house gets destroyed, then we have to vacate the house and go to the next house or live somewhere else. So the soul comes out of the body, and then the subtle body comes out. The subtle body has got this mind, intelligence, and false ego along with it. It's got all these vasanas, all these
Consciousness.
not consciousness. Yeah. All this we acquired in that body, and the soul gets identified so much with the subtle body. It thinks that I am this body. So when Yamadutas come at the time of death, actually it is said no one can touch the soul. They have no power because soul is spiritual. So when Yamadutas come, they don't touch the soul. They actually take the subtle body. And when the subtle body is taken, then the soul thinks, oh, my body is going, my body is going. And then it actually goes with the subtle body. And then he is taken to Pitraloka, Yamaraj. And then he is given punishment. And then the punishment is like burn him in the fire for thousands of years, like that. Then what happens is, the subtle body is getting all this effect. Soul, nothing is happening. But then because soul is identifying with the subtle body, it thinks, oh, it's fire, it's burning. But whatever happens, the body will still be there, because that is how the body is prepared to undergo punishments. For example, there is a serial killer. He killed 100 people. If he kills 100 people, what happens? He'll be hanged or life imprisonment. And then there is one person who killed one person. एक या दो आदमी को मार दिया. He will also get the same punishment. So the person who killed 100 people, he thinks, wow, I am so good. I killed 100 people. I am getting the same punishment of that fellow who killed only one person or two person. So that way, material laws can actually not give proper punishment. But the Supreme Lord, He actually takes note of everything. He will actually give the punishment. So this person has to be born as 100 times in different bodies or even human body, and then get killed by all those people to get rid of his karma. So law of karma is very, very difficult, intricate, but they are learning the Shastra. So chanting Hare Krishna mantra is a very simple way of getting rid of all our karma. If you chant Hare Krishna mantra, all the karma will be gone. Then you don't need to. That's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, last verse, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaamishyami masucha. It says, do not fear. Give up all kinds of dharmas, whatever all the, and surrender unto me. And don't worry, don't fear, I will save you from all the miseries. So, and that's what we are doing. When we are chanting, we are just surrendering, Sharanagati. We are surrendering to the Supreme Lord. That, my dear Lord, please engage me in your service. So, activities are not changing. Whatever we are doing previously is still happening. What is changing is our consciousness. We are still working, we are still looking after the children, we are still going to job, whatever job we are doing. But the consciousness, why we are doing this? Because to actually have a Krishna conscious life, to have a proper, good life. So consciousness is the main thing. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, please share prasadam. Prasadam.
Will the prasadam please?
Yeah, Mahaprasade Govinde.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave.
Namo Brahmani Vaishnave.
Salpa Punya Vatam Rajan.
Svalpa Punyavatam Rajan.
Vishwaso na vijayate.
Vishwasane Vijayate.
Sharirara vidyajal.
Sharirara Vidyachar.
Jodendriyata hai kal.
Jodendriyata hai kal.
Jive phale vishesagare.
Fale Vishesagare.
Taramate jivate.
Taramate Jivate.
Lobhamay sudharmate.
Lobomoye Sugramate.
Ake jita घटना संसारे
Kale Jeta Gani Samsare.
कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय
Krishna Bada Dayamoy.
कोरी बारी जीव जाय
Gori Bari Jiva Jai.
सप्रसाद मन दिलो बाय
Jai Prasadana Diloka.
सेनामृत पाओ
Namrita Pao.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gunagam.
प्रेमेदा को श्री चैतन्य निताय
Premeda Koshi Chaitanya.
जय निमाय जय निताय
Janimai Janita.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
प्रभो नित्यानंद
Prabhu Nityananda.
श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा
Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
हरे राम हरे राम
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
राम राम हरे हरे
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
जय श्री राधा वल्लभ महाप्रसाद की जय
जय।
हरे कृष्ण